So this is going to be a split reading because both brothers. So you're going to hear different things coming from different sides, and it's going to take a moment for me to figure out who's who at first, and then we'll find out. Usually the older one and the younger one, and if they're in the same suit, will kind of give me the idea of who's the older one and who's the younger one. So Joseph Lyle Menendez is the older one, and Eric Galen Menendez is the younger one. And so he's already gonna be 54 though. Yeah, in November. So he's older. Joseph Lyle Menendez, Joseph Lyle Menendez, Joseph Lyle Menendez, present and future, visible for what we want to know. Eric Galen Melendez, Eric Galen Melendez, Eric Galen Melendez, present and future, visible for what we want to know. And what we want to know from the both of them is, did the mom know that the father was in them? And did the father really them? And will they go to heaven when they pass? Will Kim K help them out? I don't know who came up with that question. And do they have a chance to get out? For what's hidden behind darkness and the God of the saints with answers to our questions. All right, here we go. So interesting questions. Like I said, I started watching the Netflix show. I didn't even finish the first episode because I fell asleep. But yeah, it looks vicious, just what I've seen. But we'll see. Let's just see what the cards say. I don't want to have any bias. Here we go. First two coming out. Woo! That is interesting to start, and it's going this way. It says that God will give them no new beginning.
Oh.
So right out the get-go, like, it just got ugly quick. And then it says, and it's going both ways. So it's telling you that God's not going to give them no new beginning. So you're asking, will they go to heaven? No, bro, they're not going. Sorry. And then it talks about right out the get-go, it's saying, is there still something hidden, or are things pretty much clear now? And so it's going to go either way, and we're going to throw on top of that as well. And then it talks about basically the angry man, and this is the older guy. So I'm having a feeling that this is Joseph Lyle Menendez, who is probably very angry because he seems like he was always very angry. It says in the past things just didn't work out. Like, things didn't work out the way they were supposed to. It says, and presently it says money, like money. They need money, like they need money. They need, a place to call home. That's what it's talking about in the present. This is what they're thinking about, like being able to get out. And then it says, it talks about their mom being upside down. So this is something that probably is not a good thing for her. Man, there's gonna be some personal shit that comes up in this. And then it talks about going up the ladder. It talks about being able to tame the lion, being able to be strong, like outsmart people. You know what I mean? You're going to have to at this point because, the story that they made at first with the mafia and all this stuff was kind of crazy. It says, and then they want to just party. It talks about partying. It talks about, like no hardship, like not wanting to go through any more hardship. And then it talks about, but then the very last card in the future talks about the fools or the fool. It says the three to the left, and this is to both of them. It says a reconciliation. So are they in the same prison?
No.
I think they got moved into...
Different ones, right?
Let me see.
They were at one time, I think, and then they got...
Because it talks about a face-to-face with them, and it's talking about a reconciliation, and I don't know if one brother still blames the other. I don't know. It says, and then it talks about an angry woman, or a woman who's angry with a double-edged sword. So that, when you're asking me about Kim Kardashian, I would think that's her. It's a queen who comes across one way, but is really another way. That's what's kind of like a double-edged sword. And then it talks about, wow. It says, but no obstacles.
Oh, they are in the same prison.
Okay.
Now. Yeah.
So that's maybe why it's saying they're face to face. So that's interesting. Reconciliation, reconcile, they're in the same place. It says no obstacles. And then again, across that, is there love or no love there? Like, is there any love in their hearts or there's not? Because it's kind of interesting to see. So let's get into this. This is going to be an interesting reading. And when all this stuff does come out, then I expect you guys to kind of be like, damn, you're right. Because there's probably going to be some off-the-wall shit here, and we're going to find out right now. So God's saying no new beginning. And he says, they hung themselves. And and I've told you guys this a million times. So there are 10 commandments. And the first commandment is, thou shalt not that thou shalt honor thy mother and father. And that's the first commandment, right? That's the first one. The reason it's the first one is because the most important one, and people don't believe that. If you go like thou shalt not kill, where's that at?
At the bottom.
At the bottom. And I mean, I know that's wrong, but they killed their mom and dad. So I don't know if they're trying to say that they didn't do it now, or they're trying to get off on something different. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that word, that they unalived. It says, but they kind of hung themselves. And they left their lives and everything around them incomplete, unfinished. It says, and they want to return to being these good guys, like being seen differently. It says, so that there's no more problems in their lives, like they just go on with their lives. It says, but at this point, it looks like they may have a chance to get set free. Like they might get free. They might get out a little bit earlier than what we thought. It's saying that. So again, when you start having powerful people start taking interest in this, there's a lot of
Holy shit.
because you can make a lot of money off these two clowns. It talks about, so it's also talking to you about what's clear and what's hidden. So there's things that, I mean, we know clearly, obviously, but there's things that are hidden. And I'm wondering if they're going to tell us about that right now. It says that a man who felt like a king, it says, with no karma. So it's talking about their father with no karma.
Oh, so he didn't do anything.
So maybe there's things he did somewhere else, and maybe the kids knew about it, but I don't think.
To them personally.
I mean, that's my cards are saying no karma. It's easy to talk shit about someone when you don't like them no more, and it's easy to create things and make things up.
No, not only that, when that person's passed away too, because that person can't defend themselves.
It's true. It says it's true what I'm saying. It's true what I'm saying. It says master, like he was a master of everything. Like he was controlling.
He was an asshole.
Yeah, he was the controlling. He mastered everything, but also a master in his business and his everything he had.
He was very.
But he
smart
was
business.
ruthless.
And he was a cheater.
It says, but he balanced. He was able to balance the money, able to do everything. Like he was able to do everything he wanted to do from his position. We're talking. He's a Cuban American, and so I'm not saying anything bad about Cubans by no means, but I'm just saying. When you see people who come here and are born from one race to another and they become very successful, they work really hard and they start to create this. Because even when I started doing it, when I started building my business, there was this mentality that was created that like I'm better than this now, and you can't do that. Like you have to stay humble. I found that out. Okay, so that's it. It talks about the balance of money, and so he had money. The man had money. You can see everybody's. And here's what gets me. I usually don't use this in my cards, but in these two cards, it shows hands. Right? On the very bottom, it shows the hands. And those hands indicate to me that people reach in and try to get their money. Somebody wanted their money. And
Both of them wanted.
Well, I'm sure both of them wanted their money. Here's the angry man. The angry man, again, being Joseph Lyle Menendez. And it says that his younger brother really loved him, like trusted him. It says, and now they've returned to love, like they're okay with each other. It says, but slowly, it says, as there's no more darkness, it talks about the injustice. So I think to the little one, it was still unjust, even though a lot of it was probably part of his idea. And it's saying like no courts, no justice, like there's no justice. Like they're saying that there was horrible things done to him. Now I believe he was probably very intimidating, very angry, and you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. It's not telling me, because the lovers would have popped up with the kids. It says them wanting home, money, like they want money. This is what it's always been. It says is the devil. So right at the get-go, it's saying, and that's the devil when you start feeling greed, sloth, lust. What else? Come on, Michelle. Some of the deadly sins.
Envy,
gluttony, envy, like all those things.
wrath.
And that's the devil when he's manipulating everything around you. It says because so he doesn't want you to be happy or content with what you have. That's what makes you want more and greed. And so you have to be careful with ambition and greed. Because ambition is one thing to become more successful, but have balance. Greed is to get everything you can and not give a fuck who you hurt and the way you get in there. And that's some crazy shit. It says, so it's talking about the younger brother here, and it's saying, it talks about my card, it's saying like an album, but it's also saying a big change. So I think the little brother will change like differently if he's set free, and I think he'll be a little bit different because I think, si está arrepentido, you know what I mean? I believe that. But I also believe that there's that greed that's involved. It says with the mom upside down, and it talks about a big change that comes. So with the mom upside down, with no mom, and that the way things happen, it says there's no end here. It says there's no end, and then it talks about, you know, growing older in love, like he loved his mom. It says, and the opportunities. So in other words, saying there's no end here to the opportunities that are going to come to them if they get set free. There's tons of opportunity, even though,
They're gonna make bang.
and that's what's probably why God's pissed. Like, no, there's no new beginning. Like, because they're going to use this to make money.
Yeah.
It says, instead of finding balance in their life or making a decision that gives them balance, you know, they want to shine like a star. They want to shine like the sun. They want to be in the limelight. They want to be famous. It talks about, there's a lot of weird shit. It talks about being able to tame the lion, and I think that means taming themselves. And when you see them talk, like, you tell it's kind of an acting job. It never seems kind of real, and it talks about the strength and taming the lion. It says they're not going to die. There's no death. It says, but something will return to cut off their head. So they'll make another mistake, because I don't think they've learned from the first one. It says, and the world will go upside down. It says, and then everything will finally be complete, because that'll be paid for, the karma that they created. It says, and there'll be no more miracles, no more magic. Wow. It talks about them wanting to party and go out and do stuff, and it's saying that, you know, family, you know, as a family or trying to build a family, it says, isn't one of them married?
Yeah, they're married.
So it talks about, and it looks like they married like a spiritualist, someone who's spiritual. Yeah. It says no battles, so there's no more battles, no more fights, no more nothing. It says a new road, taking a new road at the crossroads of their life. Like, if they can get set free, a change in their life. It says, but again, there'll be no triumph. Karma's going to hunt you down. And I learned this the hard way, because I kept thinking there was always a way out, and I kept taking these detours and these detours and these detours, and I would start winning, and then bam,
Catches up.
and then I'd be like, what the fuck? And what I found out was there's no detours, bro. It's his way. It says no hardship. Like, they don't want to go through hard times anymore. It says, but that's going to be delayed a little. It says they're going to be brought to their knees. It says, but no lovers. In other words,
Didn't get divorced?
no, it's talking about the delay. Like, things were delayed, or they're trying to delay because they're trying to say that they were, you know,
SA.
they were SA, and it's saying that
They're not.
it's not true. Like, it says, and that's part of, you know, the destruction that's going to come for them.
Por mentirosos.
Yeah, it says the fools. It talks about them being foolish in the future, and it says not being able to make decisions or good decisions moving forward is probably part of it. It says, and at the same time, like, there's not even any contentment here at this point. It says there's opportunities, tons of opportunities. It says, but they won't be able to hold on to the money. The money will slip through their fingers. It says, and they'll be blocked before that. What?
Actually, before they were actually arrested, from the time their parents were killed to the time they got arrested, they had already spent over $700,000.
No way.
Yes.
Oh, they went right away. They went to go buy cars, and went
They
to the
got
clubs.
businesses. They went
Yeah.
to travel. They went to the Caribbean. They went to London.
No way.
One of them got a private tennis coach so he can participate in a tournament in Israel.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they got
They
Rolex
were
shops, they
spending
got
it.
horror shops.
Yeah.
They were spending recklessly. They went to a bunch of LA Laker games
The
courtside.
clubs, everything.
They were doing that too.
So I was
as
right.
well. Yeah, that's what they wanted to do.
Mhm.
Well, that's what they were doing.
I didn't know any of
prior
that,
to
so
being
that-
They were
arrested.
mad because the dad wouldn't give them money.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, because he wanted them to become something.
Well, because it wasn't just handing. He wanted them to work for it.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Or, you know, you got to be a tennis player. It says a reconciliation of face to face. Then it talks about an angry woman. So an angry woman, basically not an angry woman, but a woman with two sides on the sword. In other words, a woman that could cut you one way or another. Yeah, and it's talking about Kim K here. And it says, but no obstacles. It says, but not to try to create obstacles. It says they're not alone. They have help. You know what I mean? They're not alone. And it says, and they're trying to be patient about being impatient. It says because they know that things are going to work out. Like, they're going to get a chance to get out. It says, but they'll return. They'll return, and it says, and then the stress starts again. And so I have a feeling they may get a chance to let go. But again, it's like a loose cannon. Like, once the evil's been in you, it doesn't dissipate. That's the kind of evil that only God can take away from you. You know what I mean? When you decide to take the two people who, even though they're assholes, because I've been through that with my family, that's some shit. That to me is the biggest thing that God holds against us, is when we have rincor or we're fighting with our parents, like right now I'm not talking to my mom, but I'm not disrespectful. I reached out and said happy birthday to her, but I'm not talking to her because she was mean to me or she's been kind of harsh on me. And I'm just like, okay, well, just give her some time, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, like, I'm not honoring them, you know what I mean? Just giving her time to think, because we all need time to think. It says, is there true love between the brothers or is there not? And it says, there is no broken heart. In other words, yeah, there's true love there. It says, and at the same time, they're still both healthy. It says, in the circle of life, they were meant to have money. Like, if they would have waited, the dad eventually would have kicked the bucket because he was so angry anyways. He was probably going to have a heart attack. And at the end of the day, they would have had it all, unless the mom didn't go because the mom was going to get it next. It says, but they've always had this depression. And I think that's what happens if you have a lot of money and you raise your kids and you give them everything. Don't get me wrong, I give my kids stuff, but I'm also hard on him. If you've heard me, Michelle,
yeah,
like I'm also hard on him, and so I want to give him everything, but I want him to understand, like,
if you give in excess,
yeah, exactly.
But they have to learn to earn it.
But I think when you do give them everything and then you don't, that's when the depression starts, and that's probably what's happening. Yeah, and it says then it talks about a woman with a lot of money. So it's saying that they have a woman with a lot of money in their course. That could be Kim K because she comes out green, and then it says, so that means that there's good things that are coming, fruit on the tree. It says at this point, it talks about no past, like the past is done with, we paid our debt, that kind of thing. Even though people won't be happy with that, it says, you know, they want to find some kind of way to get out. It says, and they need a good defense. And so it's talking about that. So I think she may probably be pretty deep involved in it. It says, but I don't think they're going to win. I mean, I think it's going to be a temporary thing. It says the relationship with no possibilities, and then it talks about and the burden on their back. It says leaving a woman upside down. So whether she knows the facts or she doesn't, or she finally really figures out the facts or finds out whatever that they're going to prove that whatever, I think that's when Kim will be like, "Whoa, you guys are lying just to get out," like, and she'll bail on them because she has a lot of money. We know she has a lot of money, and so yeah, she's more than a billionaire. And then you look at that, for them to be able to turn her upside down means there's an inconsistency, because I think one brother is he's in La La Land, like make believe land, the older one, and I think the younger one, you know,
Uno de ellos es más cabrón que el otro.
yeah, one's más cabrón, exactly. One's more willing to like cheat and lie and do all kinds of shit. And
the older one was going to school in Princeton, but was on academic probation because of bad grades. The younger brother was actually was talented in tennis, and he was doing good in school. So, yeah.
where are you going with this?
So yeah, the older brother, literally
La La Land.
La La Land. He wants to do what he wants to do. He thinks,
He wants fast money.
yeah.
That's what I get. Like I get like he
Very
wants,
entitled.
like
Yeah.
he thinks he can build anything and it'll just take it off.
At least the second brother, who did have talent in tennis, was still pursuing tennis
Right.
afterwards and not just messing around, you know.
And so that's what I think is going to happen, guys. Do I really believe that the father has saved him? My cards are saying no. That there's no karma for that, which means that. But think about it.
I believe that.
I think I remember because it happened in '89, and so that was the year I graduated. So I wasn't really into the news or shit, but I remember hearing about it. But I remember them saying that the first alibi they gave didn't match the second one, and that's when they started saying, "Well, we were abused, and we were this, and we were that."
That they were in the movies, but they didn't have the ticket stub and stuff like
Right.
that. Yeah, I remember that.
So I mean, if you're gonna try to get out so you can spend all that money, you're gonna say anything, especially something like that, because you know that's gonna give you the opportunity to get out.
And then the heart attorney they had, these boys were traumatized.
And there's a lot to that.
There's one Thea that does believe them, and there's one Thea who's like, no, that's
And the
all
whole family
bull.
don't believe him. It's only one person.
Yeah.
Can I erase this now?
Yeah. So there you go. That's the reading for
Menendez.
Menendez.